Welcome back. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received the head of the European Council, Charles Michel, at the Presidential Palace in Cairo. The meeting was attended by the head of the European Union delegation in Cairo, Christian Berger, and the Foreign Minister, Sameh Shoukry. During the talks, it was agreed on establishing a dialogue forum gathering Muslim and European parties with the aim of confronting the hate speech and adopting principles of tolerance and peaceful coexistence. Presidential spokesman Bassam Radi said that President al-Sisi stressed the Egyptian keenness on boosting relations with the European Union. The talks also tackled several international and regional issues of mutual concern, with the European guest stressing the Egyptian vital role in maintaining stability and security in the Middle East. Commenting on the recent tension between the Islamic and the European nations and the terrorist attacks in some European countries, President al-Sisi stressed that the religious noble principles have nothing to do with extremism, rejecting to link the terrorism to any religion. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi instructed to expand the agricultural projects in the New Valley Governorate, including the implementation of the projects of food industries and the establishment of a logistic zone according to the state's developmental strategy. President al-Sisi directed to reach self-sufficiency for the domestic markets and to discover new opportunities in the foreign markets, as well as upgrading the administrative systems through a partnership between the state and the private sector. This came during the President's meeting with the Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Supply Ali Musalhi, Minister of Agriculture As-Sayyid Al-Qusayr, and the Governor of the New Valley. Presidential spokesman Bassam Radi said that the meeting tackled a number of developmental projects of the Governorate in the field of agriculture. Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli inaugurated the new Giza Security Directorate headquarters. The Prime Minister was accompanied by the Minister of Interior General Mahmoud Tawfiq and the Giza Governor Ahmed Rashid. The new headquarters is part of a plan by the Ministry of Interior to improve the buildings and modernize the administrative system by using new technologies. The new building allocates areas for serving the elderly people and the persons with special needs. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry stressed the importance of continuing the political path to reach a settlement for the Syrian crisis. Foreign Minister Shoukry also reiterated the Egyptian stance towards the Syrian file, which aims at reaching a political settlement to preserve the unity and sovereignty of Syria. The Egyptian top diplomat's remarks were made during the meeting with the United Nations Special Envoy to Syria, Geir Pedersen, that focused on means of finding a way out of the Syrian crisis, noting that Egypt is holding ongoing contacts with concerned parties to review the developments in the Syrian file. Foreign Minister Shoukry expressed a high appreciation to the United Nations' role to solve the crisis in Syria. Egyptian expatriates continue casting the ballots in the second phase of the parliamentary elections. The voters send the ballots through the mail on the scheduled days for the voting on the 4th, 5th and the 6th of November. Egyptians abroad send the ballots by the mail embassies and consulates instead of voting in person as part of the precautionary measures to curb the spread of the coronavirus pandemic during the voting process. The second stage of the election covers 13 governorates, including Cairo, Qalyubiyya, Daqahliya, Munufiyya, Gharbiyya, Kafr al-Sheikh, Sharqiyya, Damyata, Port Said, Ismailiyya, Suwais, North Sinai and South Sinai. Expat voters select the candidates from the individual list system depending on the electoral district and the others from the closed list system. Around 2,085 candidates are competing for 70 individual seats, while 284 candidates are competing under the list system in 2 districts. Egypt has reported 207 new coronavirus infections, bringing the total number of the cases to 108,329 people since the outbreak hit the country in mid-February. The Health Ministry also reported 30 new deaths, bringing the total number of the fatalities to 6,318. The ministry added that 109 patients were discharged from hospitals, raising the number of those who have recovered to 99,874 people. Minister of International Cooperation Rania Al-Mashat and Richard Dictus, the United Nations Resident Coordinator of Egypt, chaired a meeting of the Steering Committee for the Partnership Development Framework between Egypt and the United Nations for 2018 till 2022 at the Ministry of International Cooperation to review progress and chart a new path for cooperation during 2020-2021. More than 40 representatives from all the United Nations agencies participated, in addition to the representatives of the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, Justice and Education. The Ministry of International Cooperation supervises the implementation of the Partnership Development Framework and chairs the Steering Committee for the framework with the United Nations Resident Coordinator in Egypt. Egypt's stock market indices soared, being bolstered by the purchasing operations by the Arab and the foreign investors. The main EGX 30 index soared 0.7%. The small and medium EGX 70 index added 0.4%, and the more expanded index, the EGX 100, added 0.4%.